We're never going to write funny music. We're always going to write music that takes the film seriously, no matter how ridiculous the situations are. I'm Walter Murphy, and I score the animated series American Dad. No one in my family on my father or my mother's side does anything musical. My dad always wanted me to play the organ. He took me in, and I was 4.5 years old, and this lady, Rosa Rio, was nice enough to try and teach me. So I studied with her for a whole number of years and then learned the piano, and I just knew that everything that I wanted to do was having to do with music. One of my odd musical jobs was writing for a music library, and I would write all kinds of marches and polkas. In the 80s, Mike Post, at the time, he and his partner, Pete Carpenter, were the busiest television composers. So Mike took me on. He really taught me all about film scoring. I owe a great debt to Mike Post. And then Carol Farhat here at Fox introduced me to this young guy named Seth MacFarlane. Seth and I just hit it off. You know, we like the same kind of music, the same musical references. When we first spoke, we were talking about Fantasia and Pinocchio and all those classic real live orchestra that made those characters come alive. Live music humanizes it. Seth asked me if I could write the theme song for Family Guy. And I said, well, what kind of a song is this? He explains. The husband and wife are out on stage, sitting at the piano like Edith and Archie Bunker, and one by one the characters come on stage and join in the song, synchronized dance, and then the logo pops up. I went, okay. There was no budget for Family Guy at that point, so I said, Seth, I could do it in my studio, you know, and then we'll get the actors to sing, and that's what's on the air. I was doing Family Guy for a couple of seasons, and then Seth came up with American Dad. Seth wanted it to be in the same musical world as Family Guy. I alternate episodes with Joel McNeely, who's a wonderful composer. All of the songs are written to the lyrics that the writers have in the scripts, and then I set the words to music. It's not an easy thing to figure out where to put a song in a show. You're interrupting the narrative. I'm always thrilled to get a script and marvel at how they decide to do it. Matt Weitzman and his crew of writers always make a funny show. We have great singers. I mean, Seth and Rachel and Scott and Dee, they're all so wonderful. I mean, I could write anything and they can practically do it. Well, the American Dad soundtrack album is really a compilation of many of these songs that have been in the show since its start. The theme song for American Dad, we decided that it would be patriotic and a rousing kind of march. That turned into Good Morning USA.
And he's shining a salute to the American race.
It's about this guy, Stan Smith, who's kind of a braggart. It's lampooning his Americanism.
You've done a good job.
Good, no great, no good job. Haley gets to sing about how she's proud that her dad recognized her.
Did he just say, my dad, he's proud of me?
They wanted a Broadway-esque Judy Garland-like feature piece. Haley's all dressed up in a gown with background dancers. Most of the songs on American Dad are funny. When I Dress My Body, it was very heartfelt.
Chase the gloom away.
His character is singing about regretting that he's now a fish, yearning for the time when he could, you know, have legs and go out. Of course, he was turned into a fish in a horrible CIA accident, so. Steve comes up with this liquid that tastes like beer and gets you drunk, but doesn't get you hungover. His mom winds up drinking a gallon of this stuff, and she's so astonished that she's not hungover. She said, I'm hung under.
I'm hung under.
That song is sung by Wendy Schall, who does a wonderful job. Working in comedy, you have to make sure that you set the words to the music so that they're completely intelligible. You have to presume that the song's only going to be heard once. There are no lyrics on the back of an album or anything like that. If the lyrics are not set in an understandable way, then the jokes don't land. So lucky, I get up every morning and I write music. And That's what I love to do. So how lucky is that?